What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. I have a new knife to look at for y'all today. This is not mine. This is coming through the pass around group set up by Lefty EDC, so thank you very much for that. I'm really excited to dive into this knife. I've had it for a couple days now. There's a lot of things I really love about this thing. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. You can also head over to Instagram and like us at Work Knife Balance 939. It's a great way to communicate, connect with us, let us know what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and send us a knife for review. If we after we review it, we're going to send it back to you with a sticker and just some other swag, just to say thank you for helping us support this channel and bringing content for us that you want to see. So without further ado, let's dive into this Bridgeport knives. This is going to be the Bridgeport's first knife, I believe. You can correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I think this is Bridgeport Knives' first knife. This is the 1827. So this was designed by Bridgeport, but manufactured by Kubi Knives. So some of y'all are very familiar with Kubi. You know, there's a couple fantastic knives out there that I have in my collection from Kubi. And so when I saw this was a Kubi manufacturer, I had some good expectations for it, and they definitely lived up to. So we'll go ahead and start with some measurements. We'll go tip to tail and then blade, and then we'll do some side-by-sides, and then we'll get into my thoughts about this knife. Tip to tail, we are looking at about 7.5 right on the dot. Blade length, we're looking at about 3.5 with a cutting edge of about 3.25 on that. If we're gonna look at some side-by-side comparisons, we'll do some smaller knives real quick. We've got the Ontario Rat 2. Let's see, here is the Pony Stout as well that we can put down there. So you can see the Devo Pony Stout, Ontario Rat 2. Those are some smaller knives to compare it to. Excuse me, got some hiccups going on right now. Let's get a little bit more full size. We've got a Para 2 as well as a Miguron Mayoral. So those are going to be a little bit more in that full size category, that compact full size, I would say. Not big knife, but definitely in there. Shows you some good side-by-side comparisons. So if you've got any of those knives, you've got a good idea of what this will feel like in your hand and what it'll look like as well. So yeah, let's dive into the knife though. This is a titanium frame lock 20 CV blade steel knife with a hollow grind coming through here, a really nice sheep's foot coming over the top with a big belly coming down here, super slicey. I really love the way that they designed this knife. It looks really good. The ergos are fantastic. You have a little bit of a choke up spot. I don't think it was designed for that with this little hump on the backside here, but you can sideways slip your finger in there if you need to. Don't necessarily have to, because there's a lot of purchase on this back end handle right here, both front and reverse grip on that. Absolutely money. And then you've got a really good kind of finger grip and pinch grip coming through there. So really nice, really nice ergos on this thing. The detent is a little bit on that heavy medium side. It's not necessarily a hard detent, but it's not an easy detent, which is good. That's right where I like it. Dialed for that front flip. Absolutely ridiculous with that big front flip. You can get over the top. It's a little bit stiffer to do that pointer finger front flip to roll it over your knuckle, but you can still do it right there as well. So yeah, they had some really clean lines on this knife, and that's one thing that I absolutely loved about it. If we look at it a little closer here, you can see there's absolutely, as the camera wigs out and doesn't know what to do, there's absolutely no hardware that's holding the frame together, I don't believe. The only piece of hardware on this other side is holding that spacer in. Let's see if we can get the camera to be normal here. All right, the only piece of hardware is holding that clip spacer in. And so with that, it makes a really clean design. It makes a really clean lines to it. You can see on the back side, you've got the same thing here and then the pivot holding in. So that might actually, I haven't taken it apart, but that might actually be the only penetrating piece that's holding it together both on front and back. And I like that because it creates a very sleek look, a very clean look to it. You do have chamfered edges around both sides, around the whole knife, around all the scale edges right there, which is really good. And then if you open it up and look through here, you have a little bit of a purchase spot right there as well, so you get easy access to the frame lock there. which makes it nice and easy for opening and closing. And then the inside of that is a little chamfered as well, so it's easy to get into and fall right down. That action is ridiculous. You can stop it halfway like that, like I showed, and then do a little shake shut, or if you hold it and push a little harder, it'll come right to your nail and then shake shut down. So yeah, Kubi's been doing some really cool things. I was really excited, like I said, when I saw this was a Kubi knife, but I was skeptical about some things, and I was not let down. So yeah, only thing that I would say is I would like to see is a little bit larger backspacer on the backside and a little bit more jimping to that backspacer. Let's see if we can get that to come in. There is incredibly small, I don't even know if we're going to be able to see those lines. You can see the and I don't know if that's actual designed micro mill or if that's just kind of like from the milling process itself, but I would have loved to see a larger titanium backspacer right there with a little bit more jimping in that, just to add some design features to it, or some deeper jimping like they have on the blade itself. The blade has really good jimping, and it comes up and over on the backside too, which is cool. And it has a really good amount of jimping. It comes all the way to the front of that opening hole right there, the deployment method right there. So that's a lot of ample jimp, good jimp on the top too there. So I would have loved to see that same quality back here, and then extend this up maybe to match right where the clip starts to purchase in right there. I just like the look of it more, so you have less of an opening. But as I'm looking in this, it doesn't look like there's some, I guess on this one there's lots of milling then. I was gonna say on the lock face, it didn't look like there was. On the lock side there wasn't a lot, but on the show side there is a lot of internal milling to clear out some weight. So yeah, I was gonna say maybe they kept a smaller one so they didn't have to have quite as heavy of a knife if they didn't do a ton of internal milling, but it looks like they had quite a bit of internal milling in there to cut down on weight. So yeah. Speaking of, this thing is not heavy. I don't necessarily have a scale, so I can't tell you, but it's not like a heavy knife by any means. It carries really nice in pocket because of the sleek lines, nothing to catch, nothing to clip on or anything like that. But the milled titanium clip is a little stiff. It was hard going in and out of a pair of jeans, a couple pairs of jeans that I carry or that I wear. So when I was carrying it, it doesn't necessarily slide in and out of my pocket as easily as I would have hoped. But I do wear thicker jeans, so my carries tend to have wire clips a lot of times. So when I have something like this, it's not necessarily the easiest, and I'm always aware of that just because of the pants that I wear. So yeah. Not much else to say on this one. Absolutely stoked about it. This is the Bridgeport Knives 1827. If this is still available, I will go ahead and post a link below. These go for $245 on their website. I think it's the only place to get it is the bgptknife.com. So I will put the link down below for this one, and you can go ahead and pick one up for yourself. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really excited, and I can't necessarily say that I am disappointed by this knife in any way. So I'm putting this one at the top of my to buy list for 2024, and hope y'all are picking a couple up as well. If you use the Bridgeport knife link, it does not support our channel, but any of the Amazon ones do, so feel free to use those to support our channel. That's all I got for you. Until next time, TTFN.